Hey guys, and welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. Today I thought I might share with you a few tips that you can use in your watercolor projects or with your watercolor projects, and all of those tips are from my previous videos, so all of them I will link in the description box if you want to check maybe some of them out or paint with me or do a full project. So without the further ado, let's get started. To make things easier for yourself, you can of course use any stencils with your watercolors, including sponge, which is not really a stencil, but it does help you and make it easier for you to do the foliage. So in this painting, I am painting some florals, some grasses, using this sponge. It is a sponge with some holes in it. It's actually, I think, a car wash sponge. And I cut it in a very, very thin piece, and then just adding it for my foliage and grasses, for some flowers on top of it. So that's one way you can do your foliage. Next tip is the tip when using a masking fluid. You can do a first layer before adding masking fluid to your watercolor paper. You can do a light wash on your paper. So later on, when you do add your masking fluid and when you remove it, you will be left with a very light wash, not white of the paper, but very light wash of the color you want it as your background. So it does look very nice. This time I am painting some florals, and I did not want it to have the white of the paper when I remove my masking fluid, because it does not really look natural. I did want it to have a light wash of grayish tone. So first I did that light wash, I dried it fully. You have to make sure that your paper is fully dry. Then on top I've added some masking fluid in the shape of the florals. I'm using the silicone brush to add masking fluid, so that's a tip within a tip. You can add it with a silicone brush. Left it to dry, later on remove it, and I was left with a nice toned background. Next tip is using this cotton ear plugs. So this is just for cleaning your ears. You can use it to pick up the paint from your paper to create florals, to expose the white of your paper. And I do love it because it creates a very nice soft look. There is some paint still visible, there is some texture to that paint, and it does create a beautiful, beautiful foliage. So just use a cotton swabs to pick up the paint. Of course, when the paint is fully dry on your paper. For the next tip, actually I do love to use this paper. This is just from a sticker paper, so it doesn't fully stick. The tape, masking tape, doesn't fully stick. You can easily remove it later on and just do the shape that I want to transfer to my paper or just cover on my watercolor paper. And this time I'm doing some trees, and if you don't have a masking fluid, this is a nice way to use a masking tape to cover up some simple shapes. Later on, when you remove that masking tape, you will be left with the shape you wanted to cover. Just make sure that your paper is fully dry and that you glue that masking tape very, very well, so you don't have the leaks underneath. For the next tip and the last tip is how I do my symmetrical shapes. So any shape you want to make a symmetrical, a butterfly, this time I'm doing a heart, or whatever shape you like, a leaf, or whatever you like to make it symmetrical on both sides. You can just fold your paper, draw one side, cut it with your scissors. And when you do cut it, when you open it, you will be left with a symmetrical shape. Later on, you can just transfer it onto your watercolor paper and have a nice symmetrical shape if that's the look you're going for. And with that, we're done with all those 5 tips. I hope you learned something, you got a new idea. And if you do like this video, please hit the like button, share it and comment. If you haven't still, please do subscribe to my channel. I have lots of videos for beginners and intermediate painters. And again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!